Well, at 34, Katie was focused on her career and being a good mum to little Henry and Maeve. The last thing she expected was to have her life turned upside down with a diagnosis we often misunderstand.
Ready, set, go! Yay!
Katie Pryor can't carry or lift her little girl Maeve for cuddles. But it's a small price to pay for removing a tumour in her bowel.
There you go again. Go again. I'm just so lucky that, I'm here today and I can tell this story.
Like most young mums, 34-year-old Katie was embracing her busy Melbourne life with 2 kids, a career and a loving husband when she got life-changing news. It was bowel cancer.
My doctor came towards my bed and he held my hand and said, look, it's not looking good. Our whole life is completely turned upside down.
I don't know what the playbook is for this. When you hear that, you're like, oh, my wife has cancer. What now?
It's been just 5 weeks since her diagnosis when we meet Katie, Henry, Maeve and husband Josh. In that time, navigating conversations they never thought they'd have to have.
Mummy has like a serious, illness. She's, been quite unwell. And I'm going to have to be going through some sort of like treatment just to make Mummy feel better.
And Josh, at this point, how did you wrap your head around your wife being seriously unwell?
Sorry. Again, I was just bombarded with emotions. I need her. Kids need her. Crosses my mind every now and then. Sorry.
Me being 34, you're like, it's the last thing you think of. It's the last thing you think that's ever going to happen to you, so.
The symptoms Katie first noticed 6 months ago, she admits, are a bit awkward to talk about.
My first initial symptoms were blood in my stool. And it became worse as the months went on. I did go to my GP and he said to me, look, I don't think it's anything sinister. So at that time, I trusted him.
But with a family history of the disease and after a particularly confronting visit to the bathroom one day, the mum took herself to the emergency department.
They did a CT scan, which showed something in my bowel, which then prompted them to do a colonoscopy, and that was a confirmation as soon as I woke up.
For people from 25 to 44 years of age, it is Australia's deadliest cancer.
Associate Professor John Ding is a gastroenterologist at St Vincent's Hospital in Melbourne. While the federal government recently lowered the age of those eligible for a free home test kit from 50 to 45, he says it should be available even earlier.
In the perfect world, from the age of 30, we would undertake screening for bowel cancer. 99% of Australians who are diagnosed earlier with the early stage bowel cancer can actually be cured.
I was 26 years of age when I got diagnosed with bowel cancer. I think it was the first time in my life I felt like, what if I didn't get through this?
Hugo Tuvey was a captain preparing for deployment with the Army when he too was blindsided by bowel cancer.
I'd love the screening age to be lowered even again. When you turn 25, you get sent a message in your MyGov account and you partner with a GP and you have a complimentary consultation.
What happens is they present with symptoms they potentially could be dismissed because of their age, and therefore delayed diagnosis can lead to delayed treatment.
Julian Wiggins, CEO of Bowel Cancer Australia, says blood isn't the only sign of bowel cancer.
An obvious change in your bowel habit, weight loss you cannot explain, extreme tiredness for no reason, or a lump or swelling in your abdomen.
Like Hugo, Katie is on a quest to change the mindset around this misunderstood disease, setting up her own Facebook support group.
It was my surgeon's idea. There are people that are in the hospital that get newly diagnosed with cancer who have got no one. They've got no family, they've got no friends. My oncologist did explain to me that if I was to leave it, you know, with even a few months, we would be having a different sort of conversation.
So the moral of the story is you know your body best.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because Katie trusted her instinct, doctors caught the cancer early. The mum has now started oral chemotherapy.
I want to beat this thing and I want to make sure that it will never come back.
So welcome to this strange world.
While Katie's cancer journey is just beginning, Hugo has come out the other side of it cancer-free. And as of March this year, a dad.
When I have some bad days, and I still have some pretty bad days where I get up during the night or I'm in a fair bit of pain, when you're holding Teddy and looking in his eyes and he's giving you a little cheeky grin or a laugh or a smile, you know, it kind of makes everything else irrelevant.
I know how confronting it can be and how embarrassing it can be to go to your GP to talk about, you know, things like that. But it's just so important. It's so important that you do speak up.
It's a lot to go through so young, and thanks for sharing, guys. We have some news from Kate. She's now in her second cycle of oral chemotherapy, hoping to finish her treatment early next year. We're wishing you all the very best, Kate, and to you too, Hugo, with little Teddy.